Morning, just packing up, getting ready. Good news is Rainfly worked as advertised. We stayed dry all night long. A little only booger about using the Rainfly and then having it get wet is that it always takes some time to dry out in the morning, which is when you've got to trade your time for miles, can be kind of a bummer. It's really not that bad most of the time. I always make sure I have a couple microfiber cloths to wipe off all the droplets so that the only thing the sun has to do is get off like the small little bit of vapor left. And that can usually happen while you're busy packing up the rest of your stuff. We're on a nature reserve, so Jack does have to be leashed. Somebody is eager to get back on the road. Back out of the, back on the main road. I got a text from a lady, a Facebook message actually, but she lives about 15 miles down the road, which is not too bad. Actually, it'd be better if it was like 20 miles, but that's fine. She offered a shower, a meal, and a tour of her village for life experience purposes, like meeting people and having stories and just remembering things because they kind of stood out more than just a day of walking would. I think that's worth it, even though it's not as far as would be ideal. But that means we've got probably like a fairly leisurely day, maybe perhaps, so that's what we're planning on. I did indeed meet that couple for lunch. They were very, very sweet and funny. And the food was surprisingly good despite being sort of artisanal, which is not usually my forte. One of the few restaurants I can think of where it tried to be high-end, like fancy food, and succeeded in not making it taste like gross. Someone's got a dandelion problem. Today's high was 75, which is already starting to feel pretty sweltering, especially given that one of the 3 shirts I packed is black. But I'm gonna say it's in solidarity with Jack so I can understand a little bit better how warm he is. But we got kind of a double whammy going on. We're headed south and it's becoming more and more summer. I can understand why Spain, being as far south as it is, created the siesta. Got kind of a big achievement actually. My body just activated like we love walking mode, where it just can pound out at a high speed and it like feels like a very natural fluid rhythm. It feels pretty good. We'll talk soon, okay? The countries I've been to so far in Europe, every time you get within a few kilometers of a town, they have these bike paths adjacent to the road, so you don't actually have to walk on the road itself. And they're fantastic, honestly, they are. And anytime you're within a town, they're pretty ubiquitous as well. It's a fantastic system. But the Nordic countries of Europe are far more walkable for someone trying to go long distances without a vehicle than they are in the US. Alright, nearly made it to Trosa. It's funny, I mentioned earlier that I wish the house was a little farther so I could make more progress inter-day between on a day-by-day basis. My house is still 5 miles away from my current location, and I'm tired. So that's not awesome. Be careful what you wish for, I guess is the moral. Update, still tired. Tried to grab a burger in town. The lunch that I was treated to was quite good, but quite small. But everything closes pretty early. But I'm still having a good time. My dog has this fear of like signs. Like there's this red sign right there. He always hustles by them as far away as he can get. I remember he behaves the same way around garden gnomes and like red flags. And I'm not talking about the kind that mean not to date somebody. Anyway, he has a goober. Made it to town, like this little outlying village. It's actually kind of cool. I'd like it a lot more if I wasn't really hungry, really sleepy, and really in pain.
We're all gonna go and like swim in my pool. That's my own pool. Oh my god.
What's wrong with the pool? You said it has to be fixed? Got a shower. Feels nice to be clean. Maybe we'll see a castle today with the people I had lunch with yesterday.
Passed away far.
It's very warm here. I'm not used to this.
But I didn't grow up that way.
It's clever. I think I've seen.
Yeah, you probably
I think I've seen a picture of this lion. I mean, look at his teeth.
Yes.
Those are wooden blocks. Why not use as a real teeth?
Mixed up.
I was very excited.
But it would have been super cool if we would have been able to
Yeah.
go up there.
Glad nobody misled me into thinking we could. That would have been very disappointing. We're back at the Kirka, named for a church in Swedish. Jack got stung by a bee. I have a picture, maybe I'll put it in there. But this foot. And you can't really tell right now because I think it's one, doing a little better, and two, he won't stop moving. It was much, much larger. So we've been kind of taking it easy. We just got back. They took me to lunch again. They took me to the castle to lunch, my same friends, Sana and Daniel. So we're looking for a good spot for the night. Call it an easy day to let him heal up. Not a lot of miles today, but that's okay. It was a good, fun day. That's worth it. I think this is the prettiest road I've walked down in this leg. I mean, we got the golden light coming in behind us right there. You got farms in the distance, rows of trees. There's a big field full of yellow flowers over there. They're very vibrant. They look an awful lot like bunkers. But they have these wire cages inside. So perhaps they were used for something else. Whatever they were used for, I think it was a long time ago. It's just a bunch of garbage and stuff in there now. So I checked on the app again, and it looks like there's a little cabin slash hut that we can use just a few miles up ahead. So I am sort of aiming for that. However, I'm finding that I don't really like that it gives me something I feel like I have to get to. Because then I rush past other stuff, and I'm just not liking the effect that it's having. I feel like they offer a measure of security. Like I know I'm allowed to sleep there, and so it's comfortable, and they've got a roof. And it's just like a natural ending spot. But like I said, it feels like I can't stop until I get there. And then it all becomes all about finishing, which I've found is one of my least favorite things when I'm doing these long walks. I just want to be able to sort of not worry about how far I get or anything like that. So I think my solution is, in the future, I'm only going to look up these cabin slash huts on the app towards the end of the day and see if there's one within a mile or two. And if not, then I'll just say, okay, no big deal. I'm only taking this road. It's kind of a fringe road that goes closer to the coast rather than like a road that parallels the main road, E4. So this one would take longer, but I'm taking it because there's a hut that I want to sleep in. Unfortunately, it's way prettier than the main road. So I don't know if they're all like this, and if I can afford to skip them, given that that would sort of make the trip if they're way more scenic. But I don't know. There's no guarantee, so it's a little concerning. Those are some big cows. Jack really wants to herd them. This is a little cabin we saw on the app. It's very quaint. Well, I'll show you inside. It's pretty dark though. Heads up. Looks like they've got the pile of firewood, fireplace. There's even looks like some matches. Jack was just dying to explore up there apparently. So we're gonna bring the cart in. We're gonna set the tent up on the ground to avoid bugs. And I think there's an old mill right there. It's apparently been out of service since the 70s, so we might go give that a quick little look-see just to check what it's about. The building itself is all boarded up, but there's actually a bike rack, and then they continue to mow the lawn in front. So this whole area is apparently a nature preserve, according to a sign over yonder. It says it's 8,000 acres. You can see there's hiking trails indicated by the signs. I'm curious what's up high behind the mill, so I'm just gonna see if there's anything cool up there. So this is the water source for the mill. So you can see, I think this is obviously the dam, the wall that we were right behind. There's a few more picnic tables up here, and then the dammed body of water. And by damned, I don't mean cursed to a unrestful, eternal slumber. I just mean it's been walled off so as to provide power for something. You can see a little bit into the mill, but it's too dark for me to really see anything. Fortunately, everybody thinks of any blank surface as a canvas. Well, by everybody, I mean a small select number of people who like to do graffiti. But they've existed throughout history. Even that castle we visited today has actually got some famous examples of graffiti from like the 16th century. Jack, come here. I thought Jack like jumped into the water. That was a huge splash. Like, did somebody throw a boulder in there? That was a big splash.